Two people were shot. One of them died early this morning in Anchorage's Midtown neighborhood. Police say they responded to reports of hearing shots fired at 106 near East 40th Avenue and Fairbanks Street, about a block west of the old Seward Highway. Police say fire department medics tried to save one of the victims' lives. That person with a gunshot wound to the upper body died on scene. A second person was taken to a hospital with a gunshot wound to the lower body. APD says that victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries. This is an active investigation. An arrest has not been made. Anyone with information is encouraged to call APD Dispatch at 311 option 1 or 907-786-8900 option 0. 3 people were injured and a man is dead after a rollover crash yesterday afternoon on the Kenai Spur Highway in Nikiski. Alaska State Troopers say 23-year-old David Baldwin II of Soldotna was driving southbound in a Ford Explorer at mile 21 of that highway, allegedly trying to pass a dump truck in a no-passing zone. As Baldwin was trying to pass, troopers say the driver of a northbound Subaru with 3 people inside tried to pull behind the dump truck and struck its rear tires, causing the Explorer to roll into the northbound lane, crashing into the Subaru. Troopers say 3 people were taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries and say Baldwin was declared dead on scene. The driver of the dump truck wasn't hurt. The wreck caused the highway to be closed for about 4 hours. Motorcycle riders brought the ashes of the late Timothy Hoffman, who's the father of Cynthia Hoffman, who was murdered in 2019 near Thunderbird Falls, from the Alaska Cremation Society to the faith Christian community this afternoon in Anchorage. Georgina Fernandez spoke with Hoffman's family as they took one last ride with their brother. Georgina?
Joe, it was a full house today as dozens of motorcycles were outside the faith Christian community to honor Hoffman.
We're in a hot streak in much of the south central part of the state, and this warmer weather could be bringing high winds, fire danger, and thunderstorms with it. Here to tell us all about what to expect in our first forecast is meteorologist Christina Campbell. Christina?
Yes, Joe, we definitely have some warm weather out there, and we forecast coming up a little bit later on, Joe.
Thank you so much. I look forward to it. Imagine texting your brother only to later realize the man on the other side of the conversation might in fact have been his murderer. This is the story of John William McClellan, who's been missing for years, and the man charged with murder in connection with his presumed death from reporter Bethany Doudna in Fairbanks.
At 5:43 p.m. on August 14th of 2020, a man named John William McClellan pulled up to a Fairbanks gas station and filled up his truck's tank with diesel fuel. No one has seen him alive or dead since then, except possibly one man. At the time, McClellan was a 61-year-old painter and handyman who lived in North Pole with a roommate, Aaron Haig. McClellan was in the process of getting his life back together after getting out of prison, after serving a 29-year sentence for killing his boss in a pay dispute. 2 years after getting out in 2018, he seemed to be on the right track, with a steady job, cooperative parole meetings, a fishing hobby, and a beloved dog. McClellan's employer and parole officer were both surprised when he abruptly stopped showing up in mid-August. The exact date of his disappearance is debated, but on August 24th, a local noticed his truck, a red extended cab GMC, sitting abandoned just south of North Pole. Shortly before this, on August 19th, McClellan's roommate, Haig, used McClellan's phone to text McClellan's brother, saying he was at an urgent care center for cardiopulmonary issues, and he was expected to go into surgery soon. Further texts over the next day or so asked McClellan's brother to send him a total of $10,000. McClellan's brother began to be suspicious. He called Fairbanks Urgent Care and 2 hospitals who told him McClellan had never been a patient. He then asked Alaska State Troopers to do a welfare check. The troopers said there was no sign of McClellan at his home, but they did find Haig driving McClellan's Jeep. 3 days later, Haig was gone, his belongings packed and the house empty. Investigation uncovered that, in the days after McClellan's disappearance, Haig borrowed his bank card to make several $1,000s worth of purchases. Though an immediate person of interest, Haig successfully vanished for a few months, living first under his brother's identity, and then in Oregon under the identity of a man named Anthony Alcorn, whom he met in an Anchorage homeless shelter. When the real Alcorn was found, murdered, Haig was discovered, arrested, and charged. No sign of McClellan, alive or dead, has ever been found. Despite the lack of a body, Haig is being charged with his murder as well as Alcorn's. Haig has been held without bail since his arrest on March 31st, 2001, and our picture of those days in August remains incomplete. Reporting for News Center Fairbanks, I'm Bethany Doudna.
Also in Fairbanks, several people were hurt in a hit-and-run DUI crash yesterday afternoon. Troopers say 36-year-old Ronald Allen was arrested after allegedly fleeing the scene of a crash at the intersection of Sandvik Street and University Avenue. Allen's charges include felony DUI, third-degree assault, and failure to give information and assistance. Still to come on the news at 5, hear from both sides of the abortion access debate as we approach the 2-year anniversary of the ruling that overturned Roe v. Wade. Plus, curious eyes on a hike from giants of the deep to monsters in the sky, mysterious monoliths. We'll tell you all about it when we come back. Welcome back. Monday marks 2 years since the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision, a ruling that overturned Roe v. Wade. Washington correspondent Ryan Henson spoke with people on both sides of the abortion access debate about where the fight is 2 years later.
The fight is still very much ongoing.
Rain in the upper 60s. We'll see some scattered showers increase the probability on Monday and Tuesday, but we return to this nice stretch of weather on into the work week and even on into next weekend when we get close to 70 once again. Joe?
I think the word definitely is spectacular for us, at least. The heat is coast to coast in the lower 48, and it's expanding west, intensifying in some places. CBS's Tom Hansen in New York shares with us how this weekend more than 100 million Americans are under active heat advisories and warnings.
There was no escaping the sun for tourists waiting to see the Statue of Liberty.